More funding is on the way for Huntingburg's Stellar Communities effort. More on that. Plus, Pathways to Flight had a successful first year in Du Bois County, and Charlotte Olson is tonight's guest on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with authorities looking for a missing Daviess County woman. In a news release, Indiana conservation officers say Pike County Dispatch was called at around 5:15 p.m. by a concerned motorist. The motorist told authorities that a woman had been standing on the Highway 257 bridge at the Pike and Daviess County lines, and he turned around after passing by to go check on her. Once he returned, the woman was gone. Authorities found a car belonging to 55-year-old Leanne Weiscaver of Washington parked on the south side of the bridge. Police say Weiscaver had not been seen or heard from since yesterday afternoon. Now, conservation officers have been doing bank searches and using dragging equipment in their attempts to find Weiscaver. The search was suspended due to darkness, and the effort resumed this morning. Agencies from both Pike and Daviess counties are assisting Indiana conservation officers with their search. Jasper police are continuing their investigation into a stabbing at the Germantown Shopping Center. Police were called about a fight in the center's parking lot at around 12:35 yesterday afternoon. JPD says the caller reported that one of the suspects was armed with a knife. After arriving on scene, officers found one person with injuries and they were taken to Memorial Hospital by ambulance. Others involved had left the scene before police arrived. Now, JPD says this incident is still under investigation and further information will be released if it should develop. Du Bois County Sheriff's deputies, Indiana State Police, and Memorial Hospital EMS also assisted. Funding mechanisms for Huntingburg's Stellar Communities projects continue to be put in place. Last night, the Huntingburg City Council moved forward with a resolution and ordinance for issuing tax increment finance or TIF bonds. The bonds will include financial backup from the city's economic development income tax funds not to exceed $1 million. Additionally, the council approved a resolution for issuing up to $3.5 million in pure TIF bonds, and they also approved the creation of a redevelopment authority for lease financing. Mayor Denny Spinner says all of these actions clear the way for the next steps.
In the next 2 months, we'll be working with our consultants, our legal and financial firms to create the bonds that will be sold on the market that will allow us to complete the projects that have been put forth in the Stellar program.
Of course, 2 Stellar projects are expected to get underway in the near future. The 4th Street Heritage Trail and the Market Street Park projects are in the planning stages. A public hearing for both projects is planned for Wednesday, May 27th at Old Town Hall, and more information on that meeting will be released closer to time. Spinner says both the 4th Street and Market Street projects could see construction start sometime next year. Now, on a related note, work on the 9th Street Extension project will soon be underway. That project, which will extend 9th Street westward from Skyline Drive to Monkhouse Drive, is expected to be completed by the end of September. Year 1 of a local program aimed at engaging students in aviation has been a huge success. Earlier this week, Eric Sieber with Pathways to Flight told the Du Bois County Airport Authority that there were 5 local students enrolled in the program this school year. Each high school except for Southridge was represented in the program. Now, the project started as an extracurricular activity, and the group originally signed a 1-year lease on hangar space for the students to build an experimental airplane. The airport board did approve an extension of the lease for another 2 to 3 months to continue working on the plane. Sieber says the students have come a long way in a short amount of time.
They seem to enjoy it a lot. They've actually gotten into a routine now. They know what to expect when they come in each evening, where they left off prior to the last week. They pick right up and have gained an understanding of the blueprints and the plans, so they're able to continue on fairly easily now.
Sieber is hopeful that the program will expand in the coming years. He says there has been a lot of support from the private sector as the group has raised about $8,000 in funding thus far to buy airplane components. The goal is to raise between $30,000 and $40,000. Sieber says the final goal is to get students closer to their career aspirations in aviation while helping Du Bois County.
All 5 of these high school kids. They're all high school kids throughout Du Bois County, so we've got a good mix, and all 5 of them want to be involved in aviation in some form or another after they get out of high school. So that's good for the county to hopefully keep those kids in the area or have them come back after they get done with school.
The program is open to students in grades 9 through 12 at each of the 4 Du Bois County high schools. The state's Commission for Higher Education made its way to Jasper for their monthly meeting. Commission members held their May meeting yesterday at the Center for Technology, Innovation, and Manufacturing on the Vincennes University Jasper campus. The day got underway at 9 o'clock with a 2-hour working session followed by their regular meeting from 1 to 3:30 in the afternoon. Dr. Richard Helton is the president of Vincennes University. He says having the meeting in Jasper is another good marketing opportunity for VU.
The reason why we enjoy hosting the commission, because while we're there selling our programs from time to time and maybe selling building projects and those kinds of things, it's really helpful if they see firsthand what a given campus looks like, what it's about. They get a chance to look at the culture, the environment, and so that's why we value having the commission come to our different locations.
Now, the Commission had a busy agenda for yesterday's working session and meeting. Items on the agenda included a recap of the 2015 legislative session and budget impacts to the Commission, as well as Core 40 diplomas and college completion reports. The afternoon full meeting focused largely on the Commission's Career Ready campaign, along with a discussion of various capital projects. A Purdue University Board of Trustees committee has approved freezing tuition for the 4th year in a row and increasing merit pay by 3.5% for employees at the West Lafayette campus. The board's finance committee approved the measure yesterday. The full Board of Trustees was expected to vote on it today before it goes to the executive committee for final approval on May 27th. The proposal would keep base tuition the same for the 2015 and 2016 school year, as well as for the 2016 and 2017 school year. The rate is about $10,000 for in-state students, $28,800 for out-of-state students, and international students pay $30,800 in tuition. Purdue University President Mitch Daniels says the budget shows that pay increases with a tuition freeze are sustainable moves. And finally tonight, Indiana Attorney General Greg Zeller has created a Victim Services and Outreach Division to help people who are traumatized by crime. Zeller says the division will help those with critical needs, including victims of human trafficking, domestic violence, and sexual assault. His office plans to offer training and information on human trafficking and related problems to existing victim services networks to assist them in connecting victims with necessary programs and services. Zeller said his office has launched the Victim Advocates Network, an informal group that will coordinate with other victim services groups and victim advocacy workers statewide to provide information and training programs. As part of this new initiative, the AG's office will also be publishing a Victims' Rights Handbook. The handbook will be available online and for distribution to advocates and various social services providers. All right, coming up after the break, a rainy next few days, and later, Charlotte Olson is tonight's guest for Inform. We're back after this.